Hey everyone, it's Bob Mitchie from Metro MSP, and today for New Jersey Business Leader, Joe will be presenting live to the group. So take it away, Joe.
Well, my theme today is secret sauce for your business. And most people, when I talk about your secret sauce, people first ask me, what the hoot is that? And why are you telling me? Because I'm not going into a personal meeting, I'm doing a business meeting. So what we'll talk about today is what secret sauce is and how you can use it to enhance your business success. And the concept is on a personal level, all of us understand secret sauce. Cinco de Mayo, my wife and I have this one restaurant we go to every year to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Doesn't matter what else, and it's not so close to us, but there's something about the ambiance, the style that we like about it. She has her favorite clothing store that she will buy the bulk of her clothes from. Maybe it's a vacation spot, and people will travel different spots over the course of time, but they have their favorite always. We intuitively understand and have a sense of the item that draws us. I call it your secret sauce, or the secret sauce that you are attracted to. Now, in terms of business, back in the day, in terms of market access, it was rather exclusive. If you played golf or played bridge, you had enough money to pay for a course, you got accepted to the course perhaps also. You had exclusive access to people who had resources. And over the course of time, you could develop intimate relationships, a sense of who that person is, a sense of mutual trust and value. And through that exclusive access, you developed a business that could make money or define or find a client that could make money for you. The word is, if you're not at the club, you probably were out in the fields or in the factory actually earning money. That was the history of marketing back in the day. Well, things are somewhat different now, and we have much more accessibility. We have much more openness. We have much more crowds. We have much more access. But the price that comes with that is that we have much less time to develop relationships. So we've condensed, as I call it speed dating more than not, variations of it on a time manner. And we try to accommodate that better. Now, even with the internet format, the different groups will have chat rooms or breakout rooms or presentations much like this to develop some cohesive value of the moment. But it's still a challenge. And as a result, what we do to try to accommodate that is we find ourselves harder to define, well, what's our differentiator? And one easy way to say it is, well, I'm the best at what I do. I'm the best at my training, my education, because it's something that will grab people competing for that dollar. The challenge is, again, you say you're the best, then your competition will say, well, don't leave me out. I'm the best also. And it becomes problematic to talk about being the best over the competition who's out shouting you. So you're right back again to, well, what's your differentiator? Because anybody can copy or duplicate what you say. And on the consumer side, it's like, yeah, we've kind of been there, seen that, done it before, and we're not particularly impressed. It's been said that people who were dating, it was hard sometimes to meet the right person. If I just could find the right person. When the Tinderbox thing first came out, you could swipe and go through Google Globs of people to make choices. And I've read people even unhappier than they were when they only had 2 or 3 options. And most people I've spoken with in marketing, they say if you give people 2 or 3 choices, they can possibly make a decision. If you give them 4,000+ choices, they can never make a decision. They get overwhelmed. It's just too hard to make a decision. So people shut down in terms of the consumer side of the equation. So again, with the business, and I'm not knocking an industry or I'm not a marketing person, but the tendency is, well, highlight your selling points. And there's a sense is the more you talk about what you do, more people will understand it. And the sense is if I just make it clear enough, I'll give you the bullet points of a page load of all the things I've done, all the training I've had. Not knocking it, but again, once again, your competition can do the exact same thing. And the purpose, of course, is get noticed, stand out. That's the phrasing. How do you stand out from the competition? But because we don't have time to develop relationships as we did before, or there are people crowding us in that meeting area for relationships, the gong dings, you have to go on to the next person, we try to use shorthand techniques. Well, any business coach that I've spoken with, any business plan that I've read, they pretty much say the same thing. You look at your competition, and they seem to be very successful. Look at what they're doing. And if you're sharp, you'll cherry pick the best of what they have for your business. If you're creative, you will actually embellish their good points for your business to excel even further. So the point is, one way or the other, no matter how hard, how sincere you talk about why you should be the chosen one, your competition will look right over your shoulder and take your exact same script and make it work for themselves. So the challenge, and even Mother Nature gets in on this in terms of how do you stand out. These are things that are, I won't say clones. There's a word, Duke Gangler. I still can't say that word correctly. But lookalikes, for a better phrase. And quite frankly, I think the not Shakira persona looks more like Shakira than I would have imagined. In the upper right-hand side, the guy who's living on the right, someone found a photo of someone who's long deceased. Don't know who this guy is, but they look the same. So even Mother Nature has a hard time honoring a distinctive feature about people. However, having said that, I'm going to share a story that will make my point. And for those of us a little bit beyond puberty, who remember the program Mork and Mindy, and for those maybe who didn't see it, it's about a story of a Martian who crash landed on Earth completely clueless about humanness and Earthlings, and this young lady happened to be at the moment in the wrong place and got stuck with him. Well, Robin Williams was a stand-up comic before he became, this is what made his future actually, this TV program. And like anybody else, he's looking for a better gig. And he saw an advertisement written, produced by the casting director looking for a Martian for this program. Now, on a business sense, classic best practices, Robin got his best clothes on. He got together his resume that talked about all of his gigs, his testimonials that went along with it, and he showed up on time, prepared to argue he's the best. And he had a late morning time. And when he walked into the room, it was filled with other young men, all dressed appropriately. When he walked up to the receptionist desk, who was harried on the phone talking, looks up, checks the name, yes, put your resume on the stack over there. It was that much tall. So clearly he's competing against everybody who's laying claim they're the best for this job. Well, what stood out for him, well, what happened was the room was crowded. They had some central chairs, but they had benches along the wall. So he asked the receptionist, where can I sit? And she kind of pointed vaguely, well, there's a spot over there in that direction. And so all of a sudden he walked off, and all of a sudden there was a loud bang. As the story goes, this is in the media, as the story goes, her head jumped up, the doors to the back rooms popped open, and the interviewers came running out, including the casting director. And they went over to the nature of the sound, and it was Robin Williams, and he was on his head. And the bang occurred because he put his head on the bench, and when he flipped up, his heels hit the wall, and bang. And they said to him, what the flip are you doing? And he said, well, you said have a seat. This is how Martians sit down. And at that point, the director cleared out the room, hired him on the spot, and was later quoted of saying he was the only one came prepared to be a Martian that day. So what worked for him is not his resume, not his credentials. There was something unique about his value that drew the director to him to be the main stay of that TV program, Mork and Mindy. So what we talk about is having, and all of us have a secret sauce. I'm absolutely convinced of that. The challenge is we don't know we have it, much less how to find it, not understanding the value of it, so why look? But it's something that allows you to stand out from the competition that nobody else can lay claim to, nobody else can copy, and that's your unique differentiator. I'm Joe Wesley, JNK Creative Solutions, and my tagline is, I don't claim that I see dead people, but I will help you discover your secret sauce.